Hey everybody, clearing. All right, so we are going to dive into a Divine Feminine check-in. This pre-shuffle, getting ready for the video, I kept hearing a little singy song in my head about how the feminines are picking up on some kind of suspense in the air. That there is some kind of a mystique. So thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through for the collective that joins me here. What can we see about the energy afoot in these connections? What are the Divine Feminines experiencing? What's going on in their minds and emotions about the journey? I'm actually going to do some feedback from the Divine Masculine perspective. So this deck is going to be some response to what we see for the feminines. So we'll see if the masculines concur. Some sort of feedback is what I'm being guided we're doing. And then advice for the feminine. So all the usual divine counterpart check-in questions, and here we go. Also, I did just open sessions. If you want to grab one with me, the link is in the description below. Okay, Divine Feminines, what are they picking up on regarding the connections? Oh, yep, some offer coming in. 10 of Swords, the end of abandonment. This is in the inverse, so it's not really full-blown abandonment wound. It's more like the illusion of the abandonment. It's like the hunch that the feminines felt about true feelings being here or the return. It feels like there's going to be that very same return, or what the feminines have prophesied or been told by the divine, that things will come back around. It feels like contact, communication, an offer, depending on where you're at on your journey. There's something that seals the deal, I just heard, but I feel like it seals this illusion of abandonment. I'm not even getting that it's an apology, but it could be like an explanation or more of a backstory as to why the distance, why the aloofness, why the hesitancy. It just feels like there's some missing information that the feminines are sensing on a deep, deep level is coming. What would the masculines say to that? I don't want to lose you. This is a card of remorse, regret. It feels like the masculines are letting go of the old ways of life and the paradigms associated, but they aren't quite done that process. They still have their, what am I hearing? Hand in the pot, spoon in the pot, something like that. They still have an iron in the fire with the old life, and yet they don't want to let you go, feminines. So masculines would like to say, it's a card I've heard many times that I'm seeing in my mind's eye. If I asked you to stay, would you leave? It's kind of like that. It's like they don't expect you to wait indefinitely, but they still have loose ends to tie up, is what I'm getting. And so this offer that you might be sensing, feminines, it might not be as grand as you might expect at this point, but there is some kind of, and it's not a token, there's something substantial that the masculines sincerely don't want you to be gone for good. And so it feels like, yeah, they are acknowledging that it's not you, it's me. It's something in their energy that needs to be finalized. Advice for the feminines: friendship, unconditional love right now. Really just don't get ahead of yourself in expectations. Meet your masculine where they're at, where you can, without pressure, without expectation, without having it have to be more than it is or less than. Don't tell yourself slippery slope stories about the status of things either. This is about becoming balanced. I heard equilibrium, internal equilibrium, compassionate non-attachment. What can we see for where the feminines are feeling as far as their masculine personally here? Overcoming the devil and King of Cups. There's a lot of layers illuminating to these feminines about the amount of love their masculine has for them. And that a lot of the, this is really nice. I heard this earlier in my meditation as well. The feminines are coming to the realization that if they really are the best one for their masculine in all of the world, that it stands to reason that it's that big of a deal. These masculines have that much love. They have the feminine in that much regard, in that much esteem, that a lot of the fear, struggle, insecurities, wounding, weirdness that the masculines have in the past struggled with, they are overcoming that. That's the shadow, the devil being overcome. And this King of Cups is the amount of love they have. So the feminines are realizing it's not just some smug-ass masculine power tripping. If this really is their divine masculine, that means these divine feminines are the absolute choice for their masculine. That changes everything to look at it that way. Everything. Everything. What would the masculines say about this? They struggle with when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So these masculines are all also in their minds. This is my card of the free will. It's kind of gnarly. It's like the knee-jerk interpretation, the cliche, the status quo, the predictive programming versus a leap of faith, believing this love is not too good to be true, accepting this incredible counterpart that checks all the boxes straight from the divine that we always hope for but never expected to really meet. The masculines are also at that place. So this is a shared, mirrored experience. Put it in the comments below if you are in that energy. I'm curious. What is the advice for the feminines? Seeing more than meets the eye. Yeah, the irony, the depth. When we're looking at things as a surface cause and effect, we're missing these ironies. When we're not putting ourselves in someone else's shoes and genuinely asking, what would the reason I would be acting that way if I were full of love for my person on that person's side? Like, can you put yourself in their shoes knowing you have this much love and redefine what the actions and sentiments might have meant? Instead of taking offense or feeling rejected, can you look at it through the eyes of how much love you actually have, viewer? And step into your person's shoes and imagine what their thoughts and actions would be through the eyes of impeccable love, doing their best, showing up to the fullest, what that would indicate rather than any pain story. What can we see so breakthroughs are coming. This energy of anticipation that the feminines are having, it's really an energy that is leading up to breakthroughs. What is on the heart space? Freeing their mind and making way for genuine reunion. So stepping out of that trapped and powerless mindset. Not wanting to recreate history, but actually connect on a soul level. Each time we go apart and come back together, it is so we can connect on a deeper soul level. You can look at that way as we ascend up in these cycles. We're actually connecting on a deeper soul level as well. What the masculines say. Yeah, they are walking an 8 to match the 8 here. They're walking away from guilt, shame, things that don't serve, beliefs, people, places, things. They're continuing to refine and purify and really look at the fruits. Wow. So this also, you know, with the free will and weighing out the odds here, 5-5, that's massive changes. So they are leaving certain things behind that have been blocking the progression of these connections. That's insecurity. It's the pity party, woe is me. It's any of the fear-based things that result in suffering. Any of the assessments we make that are in lower vibration, that are not seeing this opportunity in love for what it is, those things cause emotional suffering. When we try to tell ourselves crime stories like that I just heard. So yeah, these masculines are walking away from telling themselves crime stories. It is like committing a crime when we sin against the beauty that this love is that's being offered. I just saw 11:11. What is the advice for the feminines? The sun will come out tomorrow, I just heard. So here's the sun. It's not in the upright, but your masculine has to go through with a fine-tooth comb all of the things that they've been telling themselves that has been perpetuating self-sabotage, remorse, not living their best life. It's like if you are too good to be true and they miss their chance, that's going to be more regretful than going forward and being rejected. Which one's more noble? Come on, everybody. Which one's more noble? Going for it. Put going for it in the comments. So there does seem to be something coming to light here, feminines, where your masculines are going to be going for it. It goes hand in hand with you freeing your mind from pain story as well. So we're learning how to more accurately affirm love than spin stories into those pessimistic glass half empty things. These journeys are massive manifestations of love that we're tag teaming. It's amazing how much clearing through the obstacles to love does to change the world. And we are in these divine pairs working on those exact limitations as we all ascend. What can we see on the heart space for the masculines? 6 of Pentacles. This is the equal give and take, and I'm kind of making that sound because we got the 5 of Swords here, but it's in the yin yang, it's in the opposite, which means feminines are taking accountability for their side of the energy. There is a tandem effort here. This means that the feminines are taking accountability for how they are thinking, the way they are looking at things. Everyone is shifting the way that they're looking at things. Instead of telling pain stories, we're coming to the light here. What would the masculines say? Ooh, union. Lots of sound effects today. You're welcome. Union, 11:11. This is in the inverse. So masculines are anchoring this stability, structure, foundation, karmic foundation. It's the wands in this card. So that talks about soul lessons, cause and effect, karmic cause and effect, intention, naivety or mastery, maturity, short-sighted versus long focus, long-term focus. So masculines are also laying this foundation internally in order to focus on foundation building, constructive energy. They don't want to be buying into the things that are not stable. That means beliefs, actions that don't create true foundation. I'm hearing that the universe has aligned or misaligned these connections repeatedly to get this through our consciousness. That when things are aligned in these connections, they come in. when there are misalignments, faulty logic, short-sightedness, errored thinking, sin, not being in righteousness, when we don't follow our authenticity, when we don't listen to our heart, the universe pulls these connections away. When we acknowledge those things, it speeds up union. So masculines are beginning to very much identify this. What is the advice for the feminines? Perseverance, but there's something here. It's almost the moment of recognition where we're fighting something, going ahead, and then all of a sudden it's like, what am I fighting against here? What was my reason? It's almost like this moment of catching ourselves out in habitual thinking and then all of a sudden saying, but why? That's the advice here. You know, we don't have to be up in arms and defensive. We can let love in. What can we see for the manifestation? Page of Cups and Page of Pentacles. So genuine communication, genuine exchange is what the feminines feel coming here. That means you've done a whole lot of work to become present, feminines, so that, and loving yourselves, so that these things can come in, communication can come in, updates from your counterpart, exchanges like that, where it's more genuine. It doesn't have the pretense, the expectation, the slippery slope thinking. It's not more or less than it needs to be. It just is. And that's alignment. When we can get really grateful for each time we connect actually, without the masks, without the pain filters, we're just there. That's going to set a new foundation for genuine connection that we can really build on. So the feminines are coming into the awareness of the opportunity to just meet in the righteous, the appropriate energy, and to let that create a new history, make new memories, a new foundation. What are the masculines saying about that? Here's that mystery, the moon. I do see two trees, and I feel like the masculines, they're such composers. They are so vast. You know, the sun has a bigger vantage point than the moon in the solar system, right? It feels like the masculines are very well equipped at stepping back far enough to plan, orchestrate, compose. It's cute because I'm feeling the feminines have this immediate present energy and the masculines have something in the works. A surprise. What is the advice for the feminines? See your masculine as this glorious, divine masculine King of Wands. This is the spiritually realized. I'm getting magician energy here. Master manifester. Give them some credit, you know? If you really truly are on this extraordinary spiritual journey, then your masculine really truly is a master manifester and very, very loving. Not manipulative, not with you. Maybe if they have been in the past, they are no longer. And they want to delight you. This is sweep you off your feet kind of energy, but not in a save you from yourself kind of way. But yeah, if you really can't see your masculine as somebody who is heart-centered, soul-centered enough to have a grand romance with you, like epic, you might want to go back to the drawing board with what you think you're manifesting here. I know there are people watching because I can feel it in the energy that just don't want to be alone, and they've met somebody and there's been some whirlwind and they're like, no, not again. Someone's taken from me. Do the time to heal and soul search so you can come into the worthiness, into the acknowledgement that you deserve love, so that you can manifest on this level. And I'm not saying this to sound elite, but these kinds of incredible relationships are unfolding on the planet. And if you're watching this far and your masculine is not in this energy, then it's not quite time yet with that person, or you're destined for something like this. And this message is here to show you the contrast between what you are manifesting and what is possible. For the vast majority, though, who are with me on this, your masculine is coming into their nobility, their spiritual royalty, their cosmic royalty. And it's beautiful to see you in this calm, chill presence. When you least suspect it, your masculine is going to start showering you with their love. And I'm hearing that is one step ahead. These are the master strategists, master manifestors. And they do have the ability to provide safe containment for a divine feminine. So feminines, you are beginning to feel that safety in intimacy coming in, and it is putting you in your feminine energy where you're no longer lamenting and reaching for the unattainable. For many, you're starting to feel safe, grounded, clear, happy, balanced, and good on your own. You just truly are excited to meet your reality where it genuinely can meet you. And that, my dear friends, is the sweet spot of alignment that the masculines can come in and be the masculine. What can we see for the actions? Oh, okay, 5 of Cups, 4 of Cups. There's a lot of clearing of the past. I know in private readings, there has been like repeatedly a nudge to downsize, minimize, become minimal, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, like clear out anything that's not coming forward. I see that here with what the feminines are doing. They're taking action, they are meditating, they are praying, they are releasing all the past, all the harbored resentment, the shame, the guilt. They are releasing any of the things that they have wished had happened sooner. Along with all of that is everything that's not authentically them is being removed from their lives. What would the masculines say about this? This is the truth. Keep doing that, feminines. Make room for me. I just heard, I'm coming home. Oh, wow. So the masculines, you've been getting this. This is a double confirmation, feminines. So that message where the masculines just sort of spoke through, channeled through, that is the Ace of Swords. Like that is the voice of truth. And so these masculines are coming home. You're going to have had the indicator of that in your own spirit, that awareness, and you're hearing it here. What is the advice? Keep bravely going forward with what you're guided to do every single day, feminines, because one day it's going to be time for you and it's going to happen. And you're going to be so glad you kept preparing and going towards the faith that anchors this kind of manifestation. What can we see? This is one of the biggest manifestations that you've ever done in any lifetime, let me tell you. This is a culmination of many lifetimes. What can we see for the biggest challenge? Overcoming the burden and moving ahead. So this darker horse is kind of out of control. That represents the shadow not fully being balanced, but still going forward regardless. So there's still a little bit of getting ahead of ourselves, feminines, with expectations, with wishful thinking we're further out of our own karmic burden than we are, karmic lessons. If you're still thinking of it as burden, you haven't taken heed of the lesson yet. And that would stand to reason because this feels a little bit like a speed wobble. So if you're overly anticipating that your connection is going to suddenly be more full on than you're actually ready for, you're deluding yourself, because this is kind of like saying, whoa up, hold up, settle down, breathe. You've got all the time you need, and divine love does not come in and upturn your life. It comes in appropriate, supportive, honoring. It comes in appropriately so that it is abundant. So if things are a bit of a stretch and you would have to scramble to do XYZ, even emotionally, imagine your life streamlining with your person right now. You would probably have to do a few things and scurry around in order for your life to be at a place where your counterpart could come in. So that's the challenge. If you do not see that about yourself, if you're saying, no, that's not me, I'm ready. These cards are saying you're missing something, that there's something hidden from you that you have not addressed. What would the masculines say about this? I just heard the time is now. So this can mean that the masculines are about to come in. It can also mean that that is going to create a little bit of a whirlwind. That, if that is you, if that's you, that means that there is going to be a need to take it slow and not get ahead of yourself when your masculine comes in, because there will be things you will need to be conscious of and to acknowledge to each other before throwing caution to the wind, for instance. Yes, these manifestations are coming in, and they always come in right in the nick of time, like not a moment too soon, not a moment too late. But it does require you not to lose your grounding. Can you imagine if your counterpart had come in 6 months ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, how rocky that might have been in comparison to where you're at even now? This is saying there is still work to be done. Once it happens, the things that divinely aligned counterparts deal with and balance out as they come into more close relationship still need to be addressed. They are things that can't be done on your own, but it doesn't mean it's fully ready for everything when that does occur. What is the advice for the feminines? Keep focused on your purpose, on your inspiration, your non-negotiables, focusing on your aliveness. When your counterpart comes in, do not silence your knowing, your soul. The feeling you get about whether something is 100% yes for you or not, don't stuff that down. This is saying you won't necessarily be fully on your purpose path. It's again, that moment, not a moment too soon, not a moment too late. It's like right when this burden, 10 of Wands, is let go of, that's when you become made ready for your highest potential out into the world. Contribution, overcoming. As you overcome, your torch is lit for more. Even on that level, I know so many of us are doing things we never imagined we would end up doing in the world already at this stage. And this is saying it's only just begun. What is the solution to this challenge? Taking it slow, one step at a time when things are justified, crossing each bridge as it comes. And because there are two here, that means having equal contribution within these connections and sorting the things together, not one taking it on upon themselves to overcompensate or do on their own or project or cross over that sovereign threshold on behalf of someone else's energy. This is true partnership, yoked in eternal love, true justified. So if you lose yourself by saying, oh, I don't need to exactly say what I meant there, or I'm I'm just going to hope that their idea is the best, or I don't want to make decisions anymore, so, or it'd be nice if I didn't have to make them, so I'll just let them take this one. Do not, even on the subtle levels, overstep your own knowing. In the past, it would have been so easy. How many times have we done that in karmic relationships? In this one, though, we've learned not to do that. And so don't stop doing your own accountability, your own due diligence, going into these connections. That's what got you here, and that is what must never stop. You must always run everything through your connection to source, going forward in these connections. What would the masculine say about that? Don't delude yourself. This is a card of fooling ourselves. This is a card of being real with our own knowing, keeping one eye on your own stake in your own interest. I just heard your own perspective, your unique knowing. Do not lose sight of that ever. Advice? That's when we move forward in harmony. We got the Chariot again. So that's how it moves forward. So there's going to be a little bit of a adjustment period when these connections start coming in. And it's going to require, oh my gosh, I just saw this guy saying, look, ma, no hands. It's going to require a little bit of time before we can say, look, ma, no hands. Wow. And so we still have to take the training wheels off together. We've never partnered in connections like this before, and it's essential, imperative that we remain in our sovereign uniqueness going into them. What is the direction in the near future? Victory. Seven of Wands, bravery and victory. This is a masculine coming in to promise the feminine commitment here. And there's bravery. So, yeah, again, Six of Wands, Seven of Wands. We are laying the foundation together. I'm hearing, we're at the Ace of Wands independently. And that as we come together, we're at the 6 and quickly to the 7. But we still have to go through the 8, 9, 10 together. So independently, we've reached as far as we can grow with our soul work. And now we've got the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 together soul work to do before we're in mission out in the world together as a unit. Interesting. Masculines, here's that teamwork thing. Even back here, the Two of Coins was a little off kilter. Here in this ascended vision, the masculines know that with you, they have found a true partner, true equality, true balance, true harmony, true ascended thinking. So the masculines are saying, do not fear. Do not rush, do not settle. Keep honoring yourself, holding true to your knowing, because we have this potential. This is kind of like calling the feminines out with being a little bit still, thinking too much about what their masculine wants and needs. And the masculines are saying, you matter. What is the advice? Reciprocity. Feminines, it's so tempting to put your masculine ever so slightly first, to want to love them with all of the pent-up energy that hasn't been able to be expressed. But what I'm hearing is that has been building in escrow for the rest of your lives. Go easy, relax. Wow, this is a unique reading. Many blessings. Bye for now.